to AutoSave. I'm your host, Camille Salazar-Hadaway, and with me is my co-host with the mostest, Mr. Nick Andrade. What up, Nick?
What does the mostest mean? What mostest do I have?
The mostest skin on their head that's exposed.
That is true.
The mostest impressions.
Thank you. Yes.
You do really good impressions.
Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
The mostest quirky remarks on a podcast. And that's where it ends, right there.
I think so.
That you hit your peak
that you
right
got
there.
3 pretty impressive. I thought maybe
I feel
one
like,
if I was lucky.
You know what? I think I owe you another one because the first one was just like the first thing that came to my head because you always like talk about how you don't have hair on your head because you shaved it all off. So I feel like I should say something nicer. So like the mostest with the things.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
we'll leave it at that. Yeah, great.
I just leave it at that so I don't have to compliment you. So that's where we're at. But we'll wait till next week when it's my episode.
Okay. Yeah.
And then
on your next episode.
Yeah.
I want to be the mostest at something. See, this is not fair because you're going to have time to prep for that. I didn't have time.
I've already written 6 down.
Okay. There's a lot more that you could write down, but whatever. Let's get to the episode today because we are continuing our dive into New York. We're swinging along Spider-Man 2, and it's been enjoyable so far. So why don't we get a little refresher of what happened?
Whoa! There's our guy. What's the plan?
I think we should get him.
What? I'll run a distraction. See if you can break him free.
On it.
They grow up so fast.
I'm gonna break you out of here, okay?
You can't. They rigged this whole thing.
Then I'll de-rig it.
What did I just tell you?
Sorry, it's my first day.
Gonna need a hand here!
Be right back.
So Harry began being really super headstrong with his new, headstrong with his newfound powers. You know, he's very eager, thinks he knows it all already. And really, his powers is because of the suit. So when I say Harry, I really mean the suit. Harry also helped us rescue Tombstone from the Hunters. And there were a lot of close calls because, like I mentioned, Harry's just really jumping into action there, not really taking any precautions, not thinking strategically like a true superhero. But you know what? Through that all, they did manage to save Tombstone. And Peter's pretty impressed with Harry, but mostly the suit. We also ended up catching up with Miles briefly, as Peter was definitely not catching up with him in any way possible. So we actually stopped a crime from happening at the Harlem Cultural Center. Well, with Miles and Spider-Bot stopping some robbers from, I guess, stealing instruments. And then after that, like, I'm like,
honestly,
this
that's
seems
what it
so
was.
out of place, but it was that.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And then after doing that, we also got to switch shoes or suits. MJ doesn't wear a suit, so I'm just going to say switch perspective as we headed in and played as MJ in a mission that uncovered that Dr. Connors was kidnapped by Kraven's goons. No good. We ended up sneaking around and flexing MJ's Symkarian, which we weren't aware that she's very well versed in Symkarian. Apparently, it's Hungarian when she's speaking Symkarian. This is something that, I learned. That's what the whisperings of the internet is saying. It's actually Hungarian that she's speaking when it's Symkarian.
Pretty cool.
But she used those skills to find Dr. Connors. And then we get ambushed by Kraven himself. We end up getting saved briefly by the Spider Pals, Pete and Harry swinging into action. And they end up, helping us get to the potential cure after Kraven stabbed Dr. Connors with what turns him into the lizard. But it was too late. He got away. And in a shocker of events, Peter ended up dying.
Yes.
But it
Sell
was
it
brief.
more than that. He literally died.
He did die. He ended up dying. Well, okay, it's hard to sell it more when we find out he just comes back after not even a minute.
Yeah, it was really quick. Way too quick.
It was really quick because that suit that Harry has on him acts quickly, ended up latching on to Peter and bringing him back to life, like the Evanescence song that I was just going to sing because that reminded me of the song. No, I'm not.
Wake me up.
Way back to
Can't wake up.
Save me. Okay. And then Peter ended up brought back, but also with really great power. Unfortunately for Harry, though, that kind of makes him a little worried because the suit was keeping him alive, literally. So he's kind of concerned with his health and the future, or lack thereof, if he doesn't have the suit. So it was a lot of things.
Yes. I have a question.
Yeah.
Why does the suit bring Peter back to life? But when the suit leaves Harry, he's still dying. Why couldn't it cure the disease, but it can cure Peter from being dead?
Well,
does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, so it cured death in a sense because it brought him back to life, but it can't cure a fatal illness.
If the suit leaves Peter, does that mean he dies? Because he was already dead before the suit?
Well, it rejected because what killed Peter was Kraven's sword, right? So I don't think he would die because it kind of healed that wound. Maybe it's easier to heal like skin,
so it healed
rather
the
than but like this is like this is it's not cancer, right? But it's like some sort of genetic disease that's like killing his cells, so maybe it's harder to like target those individual cells.
Well, I guess the symbiote's not that cool then. It can't even cure a disease.
You know what? Even aliens have their limits, Nick, okay? But other than that, because you try to pull a question on me, I'm going to pull a question of you because it is the question of the day. Yeah. Last episode we saw Tombstone turning over a new leaf because, he was working at the Coney Island. I was going to say the Carnival. I
think he's a mechanic.
Coney Island as a mechanic. Yeah. Right? We saw, who else did we see at Coney Island that turned over a new leaf?
Quentin Beck. He has his
Quentin
whole
Beck.
business.
His Mysterium business. So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Which, transparency-wise, Nick actually thought of this question, so he probably has better answer than me.
You honestly could have kept it a secret.
I know, I could have, but I like to stay truthful here on AutoSave. My question for you, which you know the question, but the listeners do not.
Yeah.
What video game villain would you love to see be turned into a good guy or a good person? So they turn over that new leaf, And what would their life look like? Because if you told me that Tombstone would be working as a mechanic at Coney Island on go-karts, I wouldn't have expected that. And we're talking, it doesn't have to be Spider-Man. Any video game villain.
I would like to see, and I know this makes no sense because he's one of the greatest villains of all time, but the Arkham Joker.
Oh.
I would love to see what it would be if he was the good guy and Batman was the bad guy, and you had to play as Joker in this game series. I don't know if it would work properly because then he would, because he's pretty much insane. So being insane,
he's pretty insane. He's pretty insane.
Which I guess they've done it before with the Suicide Squad. this could work in it, even though Suicide Squad's coming out. But if you had the Joker as the lead character, I'd love to see him like do something productive, like good in a good way. And then obviously, and I think we might see this in Final Fantasy Rebirth, because it looks like you can play as Sephiroth, but I would love to see him be the good guy and Cloud be the bad guy.
I was actually going to say Sephiroth.
Well, I stole that from you too, so.
No, you didn't. You didn't steal that from me. We're just on the same page, Nick. But firstly, before I comment on that one, let's go back to Joker. What would he do? Like, what would his life be? And would it be the Joker that is all buffed up and maybe he works at a gym as a personal trainer?
As long as he's not the end villain look of Arkham Asylum, you know, when he gets juiced up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that'd be hilarious.
It would, but I think he's too big there. That's like a monster. But if he was just like fair. A buff Joker, would be hilarious to me.
And he works at a restaurant?
Sure. He can work at what restaurant? A Waffle House?
Yeah, like he's a grill chef, you know? He's just like...
Yes. He shouldn't have like he shouldn't have like Bruce Wayne money. So he works in a restaurant, but he's a vigilante at night.
I love that. I love that. Boom. Make it happen.
Yeah.
Make it happen, DC. Back to Sephiroth now.
Okay.
Because that's what I was thinking. That's my first choice.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see him be the good guy. I think maybe some could argue that maybe he was always trying to be the better person and just got crazed with power, right?
Yeah.
But how I see him as a good person, he wouldn't be like a vigilante or a hero. That's too much work for Sephiroth, right? I see him being like a professor, but like not a nice one. Like one that like a music professor.
Yeah.
That's like really intense for no reason, you know?
Okay.
Like that criticizes your work.
Yeah.
No matter what. Like you could put in like a AAA assignment. You could perform at the biggest concert in the world and he would just show up to be like, you could do better. You suck.
That seems very specific.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in line with Final Fantasy.
Well, I think it's because he has that killer theme music, right? And then that just put me into, maybe he would be a conductor of an orchestra, but you know what? Let's just lower that standard down a little bit. Let's just make him a professor.
This sounds like you're playing a real, like this doesn't even sound like a fantasy game at this point. This is just, it's almost like, like Guitar Hero is what you'd be playing.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, Final Fantasy VII Remake has all those real elements. We're playing darts in that game.
The Honeybee Inn?
Just could you imagine?
Dance scene?
Sephiroth being one of the honeybees?
That would be incredible.
I'm pretty sure there's people out there that probably imagine that.
Oh,
I'm not one of them.
I'm
though.
sure there's fan fiction somewhere that's already written that up, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? We're not going to dive deep into fan fiction because we got our own fiction right here with Spider-Man 2 as we continue through with our missions. 17 to 18 flames have been lit and stay positive, which we're going to do because hopefully we'll find some solutions for Harry as we continue our journey in Spider-Man 2 right here on AutoSave.
Could you tell me about this antique I found? It, almost killed me.
I cannot help you. I've seen this symbol before. Please leave.
Wait! I can protect you from the hunters.
I'm not worried about them. I thought I left this behind in Volgograd. The flames have been lit. This is his jungle now.
Kraven?
Kraven off.
The flames have been lit.
Dude!
MJ told me you almost died. You okay?
Hey, Miles. Actually, never felt better.
I should have been... Wait, really?
Positive. Hey, let me call you back. Got some bonfires to crash.
Okay.
Nick rolling his eyes with how Peter is talking to Miles.
It's pissing me off. It's pissing me off. Talk to you later. Talk to you later. Talk to you later. Talk to you later. It's already been like 7 times he's already said that. And,
yeah, talk to you later. Yeah, and you just died. Spend a little time with your friend Miles.
Yeah, he's like concerned, and then he's like, "Okay, I guess Pete, talk to you later." Jerk. I'm not liking Peter in this game.
Hey, okay, wait. Peter's still also got a new suit, right? We're hearing that he's feeling better than ever, but also we should be concerned too, Nick, because maybe things are a little too good. Okay, don't just do Pete like that.
Why?
Okay,
He's doing Miles like that. and then what he said? Do you hear what he said?
yeah.
He'll be okay. We know he's not going to be okay because he's got the symbiote on, and that's going to cause problems.
All right, well, a little karma may backfire on Peter, but for now, we did hear that he is feeling great. You know, we also have some intel from a local pawn shop owner who is terrified of Kraven, or should we say Kravenoff. I love that. And then you hear his theme come up and it's like, dum,
It's the best theme.
Boom. It is really good. And what does it mean that the flames have been lit? What flames?
It just seems to me it's like this. He's chosen this as his destination. That's what makes sense.
It shows that there's something big going down, and I feel like we're just on the brink of finding out what it is. Right after that, we see actually literal flames because there's a bonfire on a rooftop nearby. Where did that come from? I'm pretty sure that wasn't there before. And what happens is we actually see the hunters have lit these bonfires on the rooftop, and they're kind of celebrating that, quote, the flames have been lit.
But what does that mean?
I don't know, but it seems cool.
But what's the purpose of the bonfires?
I don't know. I have no idea. They just like to,
Smoke
light
signals to each other?
There's like 3 bonfires.
Yeah.
Where are they signaling to?
This is summertime too. It's kind of hot.
But we do see these bonfires, and we hear these comments about these hunters are so excited, so happy that this moment is happening, whatever the flames have been lit mean. And it's, I guess they're taking it very literal with these bonfires. But after you go to these places where you see these bonfires, you beat up some of the hunters. And after destroying the last bonfire, you gather some intel by breaking into an office where they just happen to have a computer. And you find out that the hunters are actually shipping luxury goods like vodka and caviar specifically to some event for some reason. So although we don't know the location of this event, we do find out that they kidnapped someone who is helping them receive all the items. I guess it's like they kidnapped their local FedEx person. I have no idea who this person is.
It's for a purpose, though.
Yeah, it's a purpose. It's a purpose. Well, you know what? It's like every time the delivery person drops, like, have you ever got that? Like, just a really bad delivery person and they keep dropping all of anything you ordered, just like throwing it, not even dropping it, like just throwing it at your door.
I had a situation where I bought a hat, and I guess it's the fault of the company that they put it in like a pouch and not a box. So when I got the hat, it was just flat. Like it had gotten stomped on. So I just like, what the hell is this? And it did say like fragile, I guess, because you don't want, but it was mangled. I don't know who destroyed it at first, to be honest.
I feel like it. You know what we gotta do? We gotta
light the flames.
Light the flames. Kidnap
We'll
a shipping person, and then find out what happened to your hat.
Yep.
No, but kidding. We actually go to rescue this delivery person, and he's getting beat up pretty bad by the hunters, who are asking for the remainder of their shipment. Like, look, I like luxury as much as the next person, but this is extreme for the hunters. This person literally has nothing to do with anything in the plot of the story. They're just delivering shipment of goods.
Plus, if it's like delayed, you can't, like, the hunters be like, "Where is my shipment?" And then the person's like, 2 to 4 business weeks. I have no control over that. He's like, "Give me the shipment now." And then he's like, I don't have it. Like, I don't know. And then he gets killed. The poor guy.
I know, poor guy, but he doesn't get killed here because
No, not this. It's just
we're Spider-Man.
Yes.
And we show up. We decide to beat up all of the brutes that are in the area. I'm holding our little delivery person hostage. And then after that, we gather some intel from that person who tells us the location of the party. So you know what that means? It's party time.
Looks like a busy night. Hope our VIP is here.
They're more riled up than usual.
Just keep your head down.
How are you getting in?
Kitchen entrance.
You should change. The classic Peter Parker look isn't gonna cut it.
Too bad my tux is at the dry cleaners. Huh? Whoa. I'm a spy. A spider spy. You forget to mention the suit could turn into a tux.
Oh, never did that with me.
Hey, you! Come over here. Take this to Mr. Kravenoff's bodyguard.
His bodyguard?
Dima, move!
Well, sounds like your shift's starting.
Yeah.
I'll leave you to it.
Better go find Dima.
The suit can turn into a tuxedo? And you're telling me Harry chose this clunky CW-esque suit that we saw in the previous episodes? I don't know. I don't know. But I do like the fact that the suit is transforming itself. And I also like the fact that Peter was like, wow, I'm a spy. Like, it's cool to see a superhero still kind of nerd out about being another identity, like a spy. Like, how cool is that?
I don't think Harry had a choice in this. I think because Peter has special powers, right? So I think the suit is giving Peter more of the luxury plan in the symbiote suit.
That's fair. That's fair. Harry just thinks big and clunky.
Yes.
That's it. But when we arrive at this party, you know, we get dressed up in a tuxedo. And we're actually given the task because we are confused. I guess the workers think that we are one of the servers instead of the attendees, which I feel like Peter was going for spy, going undercover, incognito. I don't think he was thinking of acting like a server in order to get the information that he needs here to figure out where Dr. Connors is being held. But you know what? We have to go serve Dima, who is Kraven's bodyguard, a meal. But who's Dima? I have no idea. We don't know. So we actually have to walk around this party trying to find Dima. Because, you know, if we find Dima, we're probably going to find Kraven as well.
Yeah. And I'm preparing for something really scary to happen in this chapter.
Yeah, to me, this smells like a boss fight is coming.
Yeah.
It's just around the corner.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the party itself because, you know, these hunters were giving this poor delivery person a hard time over caviar and vodka. And this party's pretty fancy other than the hunters. The hunters are not dressed fancy at all. This was not the type of party I thought the hunters would be talking about and so excited to enjoy.
They're still wearing the same getups that they were outside. They didn't even dress special.
They didn't dress special at all. And they're you know, like at least for the hunters, when I'm out in New York swimming around as Spider-Man, I'm upset at them because, you know, they're attacking me. But I get it. You know, the villain, superhero, you know, that type of relationship. But when you're walking around as Peter, they are absolute jerks. These hunters are the worst. They treat their serving staff terrible.
Well,
terrible.
You would think I'd be petrified if I was these servers because at any point I feel like they would try to kill you if they were upset. He's like,
That is true.
I asked for rare steak, and then they like stab you. I don't know. Sounds
That's true.
sounds pretty scary.
But I mean, like, you could. I thought if you're at a even if you're a villain, you're in a classy building. You have classy servers next to you. You're getting caviar, steak, vodka. Would you want a server to spit in your food by acting like a jerk? Probably not.
Do you think that they would be brave enough to spit in these hunters' food? No chance.
That's true. But we also hear their comments. Like, you're hearing the interactions between the hunters.
Yeah.
So one of them actually end up grabbing a server because they're trying to figure out if a 300-old poison dart will actually work.
Right.
So they grab a server to test this dart on, and end up shooting. The hunter that's testing the dart ends up shooting another hunter. So it's the hunter that goes to sleep, and you hear them just like, sleep well, my brother.
That's because of Peter, though, right? Peter makes that happen? Yes.
So what happens, the suit reacts a little bit because I guess Peter's hearing this and seeing everything that's going on and how horrible it is that they're treating these servers. So then the suit reacts because it's thinking, I guess it's taking what Peter's thinking and putting some action into it, but still makes it incognito. So it's not apparent that it's the suit that's doing it. But instead it was the hunter that just missed the shot of the dart. So you hear that. They try to fight each other. You see hunters that just try to like go in a circle and just battle each other.
Yep.
And I guess that's what this is what hunters do on their free time.
They can't just enjoy a night.
No.
Just drink, have fun, but no, they gotta fight each other. I guess that's what they all have in common, right? They all have one thing in common, and that's what they enjoy doing.
Yeah, they just enjoy being hunters.
Yes.
In the most absolute horrible way possible. And when we're running around, we actually gather more intel because we are looking for Dima as we see these little interactions between the hunters. But we gather intel that there's a shield bearer by the fireplace. So to me, everyone's talking about the shield bearer. That's probably Kraven's bodyguard, Dima, right?
Your meal, sir.
What the hell is this?
I was told to deliver this to Mr. Kravenoff's personal bodyguard.
What makes you think I am him?
You're, huge.
Dima's very hungry. You should leave now.
So funny. I was just about to do that. He was looking up at that room. Gotta find the elevator. If that's just the shield bearer, how big is Dima gonna be?
It's too scary. I don't want to serve him food anymore.
Just drop the plate and leave. Simple as that.
See how you feel next time.
Coming through.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry. Move!
Coming through!
This mess! If everything isn't perfect, we're all dead!
Coming through!
No, wait!
All right. The thing about being a spy is, and if you're going to go undercover as a server, let's say, you should be good at it. And we're learning that Peter's not quite the best server.
Maybe the symbiote could have helped in that situation and, reacted to be the best server of all time.
That should be the symbiote's goal, definitely, to be the best server of all time, which Peter definitely is not, as Peter just makes everyone crash into each other as, like, all their plates, everything falls. But my favorite part about this clip that we just heard is the bearer, the shield bearer that we thought was Dima, gets so offended that we thought they were Dima because they're bigger. It was kind of like that moment where I feel like the shield bearer looked around everyone laughing because Peter got this one wrong, obviously, and was kind of embarrassed that Peter said, just, you're larger, so I just thought you're the bodyguard. Which is like, Peter, come on, don't stereotype bodyguards.
I mean, I thought the exact same thing. I was ready for a boss fight right there. I thought, okay, we're going to have to fight this giant guy plus every single enemy that's at this party right now. So I was ready for it. And then, nope. And then I thought, okay, maybe I stereotyped there. But then I thought, okay, whoever Dima is going to be someone completely unsuspecting.
Yes, definitely. And we find out Dima is in the upper quarters.
Yeah.
I want to say like quarters because this is such a classy building. In the upper quarters.
Yes.
Where there's a room which we believe is Kraven's study. So after that commotion where Peter like spills all of the servers' stuff, and you hear the fear of the servers. They're like, oh my gosh, if things isn't perfect, we're all dead. They're gonna kill us. So you're right on that, Nick. They're terrified.
Well, thanks, Peter. You're gonna kill these people now all of a sudden.
Exactly. Their fate has been sealed. Thanks to Peter, and it's not looking good. But we go upstairs into the study, and we find out who Dima is. Dima, yes, is Kraven's bodyguard, who also happens to be a tiger. I was not expecting that at all.
No, neither was I, but is Dima like an actual, sidekick of Kraven?
Oh, I don't know.
So there is a Dima Alikov Kaginsky, and I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. But this is a person, a Russian soldier working alongside Vikati, who turned traitor on a mission in Kabul. Anyway, there is a person here, so maybe, and it's a comic book character.
So you're thinking maybe this is an Easter egg to that?
I think so. That's my guess.
All right. Well, you know what? I was terrified of Dima, and it makes more sense as to why that raw steak we were carrying around was raw. It's because it's for this tiger.
I feel like a lot of those hunters eat rare steaks
probably
anyway,
like
right?
Blue. Their steak is blue, kind of thing.
I mean, they love killing people for sport, so I'm guessing sometimes they take a chunk out of them. I don't know.
Yeah, hunt to live to hunt. That is true. They do love that. But we did. The problem is, it would be nice to just get into the study, but Dima is there guarding the study. So it would be nice if we had the steak, but Peter also dropped that in all that commotion with all the other servers. So you know what? We have to actually double back, get the steak. And because that may not satisfy Dima's appetite, and we don't want her eating Peter, we also have to find that arrow that made the hunter sleep for however long the hunter's sleeping. I enjoyed this part because you have to look around for the steak. It's telling you to be stealth. I actually don't know if you could do this not stealth. Can you?
No, there was a few times I got caught and it restarts the mission. So
okay,
you did it in one shot, eh?
Yeah,
Look at you.
I did.
Wow.
Another thing that you could add to your list of the mostest stealth. But the one though that got me is the steak, because it's on a table and there's guards literally like on both sides of the table and then behind. So you could hit some of there's like armor, these little knights, the knight armor that are hollow. You could hit those in order, or it might be a shield actually. I don't think it's a full knight. I think it's just a shield that's on a wall, and you could hit that with your webs in order to distract some of the guards. But even then I was like, I'm not too sure. So it took me a lot longer than it should have because I was so scared of learning the
So
guards.
did you go really slow? You were just like creeping?
Absolutely.
How long did this take?
Absolutely. This probably took this just little bit probably took me I want to say 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes.
Wow.
Because I was so scared.
Yeah.
I was throwing out the web zip lines. I was like, oh, maybe I have to do it from this angle. I was thinking about it for a while, and I know it wasn't that hard.
Yeah.
I think I was just being extra cautious.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
But I do like there's a little back and forth when you grab the arrow that is still in the hunter's neck that is passed out on the floor. And Peter's just like, this is our little secret, because he comes down, grabs the arrow, and then
It was really fun.
away.
It was like, I don't know, just there's some good comedic situations in this game. I really enjoyed this mission in that sense.
Is it just me? Speaking of comedy.
Yeah.
Or is Peter getting funnier with the black suit?
I think he's getting less funny.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I don't
thought,
think he's as
some of
funny
his
as he
remarks-
is in the first game, is what I'm saying.
Okay, that's fair. I feel like, yeah, maybe it's just like, I don't know. These were just really good jokes here. And I was like, hey, is this the suit? Is the suit funny? I got to know.
Maybe
But
it could be. I don't, maybe
yeah.
maybe the hive mind have, jokes up their sleeve.
Maybe.
We are
maybe.
funny.
Yeah, they say exactly that. But you know what? You know what? They're not. Well, maybe they are, because they were stealth. But I think that's mostly Peter. They're stealth. And what we do not do is trigger alarm. So we have to double back and finally serve Dima her meal.
Hi, Dima. I'm back with a little snacky snack. A Chef Spidey masterpiece. Mwah.
That was hilarious. A Chef Spidey masterpiece. I was dying of laughter. It may be the suit. I think the suit has a little bit of humor.
Yeah.
That's a little bit edgier than what we're used to, but that's just me. So we finally put Dima to sleep, and Nick, guess what?
What?
We could pet the cat. You could pet Dima.
You can?
Oh my gosh, did you not?
No, because I thought the whole point was trying to avoid her.
No.
What if
you
I
could
stirred
pet
her awake?
Dima.
I had no idea.
What?
I didn't do it.
Yes.
No idea.
Yes, that was the first thing I did. I was like, well, I mean, I'll just go
That's
to
the-
fail mission.
Not looking around for clues. You went straight for petting the tiger. Okay.
Of course, Dima is so cute, and you could pet Dima, and like then she, Dima kind of like does this like little growl thing, and then you see Spider-Man like pull his hand back, like a little bit afraid that Dima would have woke up. It's cute. A little hesitation there.
Yeah.
I love it. But we do have to look around Kraven's study in hopes of finding maybe some information on where his whereabouts are, because then if, he was too cool for this party, so are we. And he probably has information on where Dr. Connors is. Where Dr. Connors' antidote or serum is. Yeah. So we finally look around the study, and there's a few things to note. I don't know if you picked them all up, but there's glasses of red liquid by the fireplace. At first, it looks like wine, but it is not wine. And Peter suspects that this is probably where Kraven gets his super strength from.
What's the power? Like, where is it?
Well, did you not see this?
I think, no. I saw it. I'm just like, I'm questioning what it actually is.
Oh, like what is that liquid?
Yes, because I wasn't sure what exactly it was, unless I missed the information. But
yeah, I'm not too sure what it is either.
Is that what makes him like 8 feet tall as well?
Well, I don't think it like puts him through a growth spurt. I think it's just like he has like just a lot of strength from whatever that is.
It's Dima's blood. That's what it is.
No, don't say that. I like Dima. I'm a fan of Dima.
I'm just saying Dima maybe has super tiger powers.
Super tiger powers. But we can't see them because she's sleeping. We also look around, Nick. Okay. So we find the super strength serum.
Yep.
We also see that there's a bunch of candles with a cross. So we believe that Kraven's religious.
Makes sense.
Which is very interesting. Really? I wouldn't have thought
for
that.
him, yeah. Just the whole ceremony of everything that goes on with the hunt makes it, it just feels like it's almost religious.
Yeah. Or maybe he's not religious. He just likes rituals.
Yeah, that could be it also.
We also see photos of Kraven's family, and you catch this before. If you look around that second floor before you come into the study, you could actually see close-ups of other members of Kraven's family, and also family heirlooms that are also like elephant tusks. So, I mean, they're not that great.
Yeah.
And then you see a picture of Kraven's parents and a family tree, which it showed that Kraven didn't have any like kids or anything like that. So I think he's just like the last branch of that side. So we're not going to see any appearances from family members here, I don't think. Thank goodness. But through all of this and learning about Kraven's family, it's pretty apparent that he's a nepo baby.
Yeah, I think his family comes from wealth. I think the hunt started with them killing animals, like rare animals, obviously like the heirloom of the elephant tusk, stuff like that. And yeah, I think he has a lot of time on his hands that he turned to hunting as his passion.
Yes, exactly. Or maybe it's just something that everyone in his family has to do.
Yes.
But I wouldn't necessarily say he has time on his hand, because the last thing we find is chemotherapy medication. So maybe his time, if he is battling cancer, is coming to an end. Also, does Kraven have cancer?
My thought was before this, if they were going to go the route of Kraven the Last Hunt, which is basically he knows that he's dying and he wants the best Spider-Man in this case. So I wondered if they were going to go for it, and it just seemed like, he was desperate for a new challenge, and then he was going after all the villains in New York. It just seemed to me that might be where they're headed. So actually, right before we started investigating, my thought was we were going to see some sort of idea of what was going on health-wise with him, and I guess I was right in this case, because I like that that aspect, because it adds a sort of desperation to it all with him.
Yeah, and we keep hearing him say about the last hunt, so that makes sense. That aligns with everything, because he's always like, "This is the last hunt. I'm looking for that last hurrah." Which, okay, cool. If that's your thing, I would just relax, sit back, take it easy a bit. But okay, Kraven, I see you. Our time is cut short in the study, though, as the shield bearer who we offended earlier enters the room, sees Dima knocked out, and this triggers a battle with the bearer, the shield bearer, and also all of the hunters that we just snuck around this whole entire building. I was like, wait, what? We snuck around this whole building, got steak, got an arrow from one of the hunters while everyone was in the room, and now we have to battle them all. I thought we were really going to avoid that.
So did I. I thought, okay, we know how to do this, and nope, we actually do. Great.
Yeah, and it is tough. It is a tough battle. They just keep coming at it. But at the end of it, Peter takes out the final enemy, just, a crossbow hunter, one of the worst out there. But he does it with so much aggression, and he notes that it wasn't him. It was actually the suit that did that. So we're already starting to see that the suit is starting to maybe take control of Peter's actions, or actually take control of Peter's actions, since it wasn't him. And Peter is recognizing this in this moment as well. So that's important to note. Well, we head out and we head to the chapel where Kraven is to find out, guess what, Nick?
What?
It's a trap. Peter was led to the chapel because it's a trap. I thought that was inevitable. I mean, Peter, it was pretty obvious.
Yeah. This whole situation is most likely a trap, and lo and behold, here you go. You think Kraven is not a smart guy? This guy built antidotes for almost every villain he's faced, and has fought them knowing what their superpowers are. Come on, Pete. Let's figure it out, pal.
Come on, Pete. Well, Pete is also hit with EMPs. There's a bunch of enemies in this area by the outside the chapel. There's EMPs that pretty much disable your functionality with your webs. So you really have to rely on your strength and the suit to get through certain parts of this. And we finally battle that one shield bearer to find out that there's a whole bunch of them. There's like a couple more that we have to battle as well. So it's a bit tough. But once you battle through it, it is time to head into the chapel.
Here to pick up a serum order for a Dr. Connors?
You have hunted me. This is good. Let's see if you have the strength to finish what you started.
I see a man. I sense a beast.
Why don't you set it free?
I'm just here to save my friend.
We'll finish this later.
My final hunt.
Okay, so Pete was definitely in a lot of pain there. We have this interaction between Peter and Kraven. I think it's also that moment we've been anticipating for a very long time because we know they have to have this exchange. And we realize that Kraven is not really interested in Spider-Man, which is probably why he didn't make the list. Sorry, Peter, you didn't make the original list of the people he was
Did he
hunting.
not?
I don't think he was on that list.
I think he was on that list.
Was he on that list? Because you saw Black Cat,
Yeah.
you saw Prowler,
Yeah. I swear I thought he was on the list.
I didn't see anything that said Spider-Man. But if he wasn't on that list, he's definitely on that list now because of the suit. Kraven is really trying to focus in on the suit itself. Ask Peter, why don't you set it free? Just set it free. In this moment, Kraven's also like playing with his food. It's like he's just playing around with Peter to try to get more information, and he notices that the chapel's bell, the church bell, triggers this malfunction in the suit that Peter pretty much weakens or causes a lot of pain for Peter, which he acknowledges when he converses with MJ after. But how did this feel for you to like finally see that moment where they meet face to face, only to have Peter just swing away? We didn't even get a fight here.
No, but it's still like the tension's building. So I didn't mind it. I'm surprised that it's really taken this long to go face to face. Like obviously first Kraven killed him the last time around. This time now Peter's a little stronger, but I like this whole tension building up between the two. I don't mind not having to fight Kraven in this situation or anything like that. I like to know that he already figured out Peter's weakness through the bells, which is pretty funny. But I don't necessarily know for sure if Kraven is looking at Spider-Man only for his suit or both. But the only thing that frightens me here is if Kraven gets a hold of the suit. That is what I'm actually afraid of, because then it also cures his cancer. Huh?
Ooh,
which he doesn't know right
Nick.
now, but it's a pretty good theory.
That's a good theory. That's a pretty good theory. I wasn't even thinking about that. That didn't even come to my mind.
Nothing. You're welcome.
Ooh, okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. I can't imagine. Oh my gosh, imagine him with. He's already so evil. Just imagine him with that suit and what it would make him do. I don't want to see it happen. I don't want to see it.
I don't think he can be stopped, to be honest.
He wouldn't be able to be stopped at that point. Would Kraven be the like strongest villain if he were to get the suit?
Maybe not of all time, but in this universe right now, yes. In this Spider-Man game universe, just depending on, he looks really freaking strong, and he literally killed Spider-Man. So he's done something that I don't think anyone else has been able to do. If he had the suit, if he was Kraven Venom, I don't know if he could be stopped.
All right. Well, I was expecting some sort of fight here. I wasn't disappointed that it didn't happen, but I just thought after getting stabbed, Peter, wouldn't you want to just throw some webs at him at least? You know, but that just shows what a good character and the sacrifices, because I'm pretty sure just a little piece of him wants a little bit of revenge. But that just shows the strength that Peter has as a superhero, as Spider-Man. But as we continue through, we do head to the Emily May Foundation to cure Dr. Connors, and we take the vial of Wait,
did we even mention
blood?
this that he got the vial back?
Yeah, that's what I'm mentioning.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So we take the vial of, what was it, his blood or Dr. Connor's blood or serum or activating ingredient?
I thought it was just like,
too sure.
Yeah, I thought it was the antidote, right? Didn't Kraven keep the
Yes.
antidote?
Well, I guess it's like it's not fully created. It's like a unfinished antidote.
Yes.
So we got that off of Kraven's neck, and we're taking that back to the Emily May Foundation to cure Dr. Connors. As we head there and start this cure, well, I said it's not finished, so we have to complete it.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing to do is to head into one of those atom puzzles. I love those.
Yeah,
I really do, where you have to destroy the nodes that are destructive.
Yeah, the atoms that are destructive, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I wish games would have like just a menu where you could just play a bunch of these mini games.
Yeah, I would love that actually.
Yeah, I would love to play
idea.
like different levels of complexity with this. Anyways, after we do that, finish that puzzle, we then have to head to the particle accelerator, which is handy that Harry has one, to add electrons to the serum to finish the cure. And unfortunately, the particle accelerator isn't functional. So Peter has to head into the particle accelerator, which if you know anything about that, that could be very dangerous because there's a lot of power surging in there. And Peter has to realign the sections of the accelerator that are not aligned. It's really cool because you have to dodge all these obstacles in this tunnel, and you're fully moving. It's kind of like you know, like Backstreet or no, NSYNC. Was it Backstreet Boys or NSYNC, that music video where they're like jumping up and down on the ceiling and the
it's bye NSYNC. Yeah.
It's bye. It's like that. That's what I was thinking about.
Need more web crawling in these games, and I enjoy when we get to do it.
It is lots of fun. And you also have to watch out for the electricity, which it got hit by a lot. These power surges. But once we do that, once the particle accelerator is functional, we could finally finishing up. We could finally finish up the cure, but then it causes fires in the building. So we have to put those fires out with our webs, as well as breaking some water pipes.
This literally takes forever.
All right, well, you're going to love this part, because as soon as we do that, now the serum could be finished.
That's the last of them. It worked! So you'll power it down, I'll grab the antidote, find Dr. Connors?
Not so fast. There are 67 shutdown steps. If we take it out before then, we'll lose the antidote.
Oof. Sounds like it's gonna be a while. You hungry? I could go get a pizza. Shut it down and get the antidote. I'll handle this.
Of course. As soon as the antidote is done, we can't even take it out of the particle accelerator because there's 67 shutdowns that Harry has to perform on it. And of course, the hunters also arrive.
Wonderful. Oh, yeah, that's what we forgot to mention, right? Kraven put a tracker on Peter.
I was just gonna mention it.
But we saw it before.
Yeah, but I was saving it for this moment. It's in the script, Nick.
I'm not reading ahead.
But you're right. So the hunters arrive because Peter missed it. There was a tracker on the antidote.
There was?
There.
I didn't know that. No way.
There was.
Wow.
There was.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, they zoomed in on it, which I'm like, Peter, why did it? This thing is blinking with a red light. How did you not notice that tracker?
His spider senses
And the fact
weren't
that this was a
tingling.
trap. This was a trap.
It was a double trap.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening with Pete. Also, with the spider senses thing, I feel like his spider senses haven't been tingling.
No, they haven't.
Like for a
I
while.
don't think
They
so.
haven't been. Miles has been more in tune. I don't know if this happens as a spider person. As you get older, maybe you lose that.
He's not that old.
I don't know. He needs to, start scheduling a colonoscopy soon, you know? Like, I don't know. Pete, what's going on? But the hunters do arrive at the Emily May Foundation, so we have to take care of them and fight them all off. This actually triggers a boss fight with one of the shield bearers, I think it is. And what happens in this is after you beat him down a bit, he throws you and it triggers an alarm in the Emily May Foundation. And we know what happens when you hear those high-pitched alarms. The suit starts to malfunction. So it's not good. But thanks to Harry, he steps in. He's able to step in through all the chaos and all of like the Emily May Foundation pretty much getting destroyed around them and turn the alarm off. But the antidote is still in the accelerator. So we still have to wait before we can make our escape. We have to fight off another another line of enemies that appear. One of them being these three swordsman hunters that that appear through like one of the helicarriers or those aircrafts to shoot a missile into the Emily May Foundation, and they just jump out casually after completely missing and their aircraft falling to the ground.
This beautiful place is getting torn down. It's sad.
We only got to see its beauty really once,
I know.
you know, playing around in it. And it is really beautiful. This is also a difficult area, or I found it difficult because unlike you, I don't do the side missions all at once, Nick. I like to spread them out during the story of the game.
Yeah.
And I died here a couple times because there's a lot going on.
See, that's a problem. I think I finished all the Prowler quests. I finished a few other ones, and I don't think there was any challenging fight for me at this point at all. So I breezed through that. Shield bearers, more like poo-poo bearers.
Well, you could own that one, and I'll own the stealth. Okay. Stealth will be my thing, and
Your
you
forte.
can just breeze through these fights. Yeah. But the fight never wants to end, and it feels like it's going on and on and on.
Let's go!
Are you hurt?
I'm fine. We both are. But the Foundation...
I don't care about that right now. Are you sure you're okay?
Yeah.
Get in there and see what you can save.
So we get the serum. Finally, it is complete. We were able to fight off all those enemies, but it's at the expense of the whole Emily May Foundation that is just demolished. Like, I don't know who called a wrecking crew, but they arrived.
Norman's
and
like,
we were part of the problem.
Norman's like, what's the damage? I don't know, probably like $50 billion.
Yeah. You're going to have to go bankrupt,
Yeah.
Norman. Also, doesn't this foundation have investors? He is not concerned at all.
Also, I'm going to add another also. Look how amazing this place is. Why is the security so shit? It should have like a... I'm not talking about people. I'm just saying like it should have like some sort of like alarm system where everything turns into like vibranium or something like that. You know what I mean? And protects itself. This seems like
That's fair.
bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, he has all the money. Might as well just take all the vibranium and turn into Kraven the Hunter and hunt, like, mine all that
Exactly.
from Wakanda. Yeah, Nick. Good idea. Good idea. Anyways.
Hey, there is Wakanda. We've seen the embassy, okay? So
That's true. That is true.
possible.
The embassy's there. Maybe you could have a deal with Wakanda and they could just give him
Bam.
a lot of vibranium. There you go. My thing as well is what is up with Norman Osborn and his complete disregard for Peter's safety? Like, I understand he's showing so much concern for his son. We talked about before in previous episodes how much he loves Harry and is showing that. He never once looks at Peter to see if he's fine. And you actually hear Harry say, "We both are," when Norman asks if Harry's fine.
So there's two things. One, does Peter even exist? Is he Harry's imaginary
Wait,
friend?
What?
That Norman can't see. Two, because the first one's stupid. Norman is so obsessed with his son in terms of like doesn't want to lose him because his wife's dead, wants to protect him. He doesn't give a shit about Peter. Peter's not even his kid. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's like, Harry, I only care about you. Peter, screw off.
You think he would care more because he cares about Harry. And Peter's an extension of Harry in his friendship. Like, you wouldn't want your son just to be well. You would also want him to have a good friendship, has friends that he feels a part of. Like, at least act concerned, even if you're not.
Maybe he knows that Peter's Spider-Man and he's the reason that all this is happening.
No.
I don't know.
No way.
I'm just throwing out so many theories in this episode. Maybe that's one of them.
This episode should just be called Theories.
Yes.
Instead of whatever it's going to
Nick's
be called.
dumb
Just the name of the
theories.
chapters. Yeah. No, they're good. They're good theories.
You laughed at one of my other ones.
Well, you said that was a dumb theory. It's stupid.
Yeah,
You said it
that's
was
true.
stupid. I was just going along with you, all right? But pretty much that's it. That's the end of this chapter. After this break, we're going to just talk a little bit more about how these two chapters ended. And then I have a few questions for you, Nick.
Your dad's right. The Foundation doesn't matter.
What? This was our dream.
And it still is. But right now we have to focus on finding Dr. Connors and getting you healthy again. I got this.
All right. So Harry is seeming like he's pretty annoyed the fact that everyone is super concerned for him. And we saw even during that battle at the Emily May Foundation, Peter told him a bunch of times to just leave, forget about the serum.
Yeah.
And Harry still wants to jump in there like he has a suit like he wants to be the hero. Before, I thought it might have been the suit that was making Harry much more I'm trying to think of the word, but much more like
Sassy?
not sassy, like just much like making him more like jump in head first rather than think about things. But
Yeah.
I think that's actually his personality.
Yeah. I do find it funny that he's just like, Harry, it's okay
Yeah.
not to care about your foundation. And Harry's like, what? And it's like, is he just saying that because he forgot about being tracked and he led a trap into the Emily May Foundation and now it's completely destroyed and all of Harry's work is completely ruined? And he's just like, it's okay. You're alive, Harry. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, yes, Harry could have died in that.
But he's dying
by-
anyway, so
He's
He's
dead.
already dead.
Stop it. He's already dead. If you get that reference, let us know. Nick, did you get that reference?
Wait, which reference?
He's already dead.
Oh, yeah,
Stop
sorry.
it. Okay.
I just read the word. I just read from the chat. Dylan said
Yeah.
enthusiastic was the word we were looking for.
Yes, enthusiastic is the word that I was looking for. But you're right? Like, I mean, yes, Harry could have died, but he's dying already. So there should be either way, there should be some concern for the fact that Harry just lost this whole foundation that was pretty much his idea, that was inspired by his mother, right? Who he holds close to his heart, and Aunt May. We saw how enthusiastic he was about this whole foundation in the first place when he brought it up to Peter. It's a big deal for him, especially for someone who's been sick for so long and finally feel like they're getting their footing and life back together. So the fact that Norman and Peter don't really see that, I feel like they're not fully understanding Harry, and he's kind of misunderstood as to what he wants to happen with what he feels is right for his life.
I have a revelation here.
All right, drop it.
And I don't think, again, Norman and Peter don't understand this aspect. I think why Harry is so involved in the Emily May Foundation is that if he does die, that this is something that can grow, that he's leaving that imprint of him onto the world. So those two don't understand it because, well, they want him to be alive and they want him to be protected. But he's like, but this is my life's work. If I have this, then what do I have? Because he's been through the situation where he thought he was going to die. Then he got better because of the symbiote, and now he's back in that situation again. So that whole aspect of what am I leaving behind in this world is really hitting him. And I don't think either of them seem to understand that.
Well, and it's doubling down for him, too, because he lost that suit and he felt like he had that purpose. He was useful because he was able to be a spider pal and help his friend out with saving New York. And now that is gone. And he's watching his friend with his suit on do exactly what he wishes he could do. And I really, in this moment, feel bad for Harry.
Yeah, would you? It's a horrible situation to be in.
Now, how did you feel with these two chapters? We got another, a mission where it's not really the Spider-Man we would have thought going around acting like a server. How'd you find that? Like, how do you think the game's balancing these missions out?
I can see maybe people who are expecting action all the time in this game being frustrated because there's a lot of these side missions or just main missions who are where you're not necessarily just being Spider-Man, which I'm sure people find annoying, but I really enjoy this aspect of it. I like where this game is taking you, and I'm happy with how Insomniac's not afraid to do that, to tell a story. Even if these missions don't seem as entertaining as being Spider-Man, I found it super entertaining. I love playing as Peter and having real life Peter having to do things, but also be Spider-Man and have to be in a stealthy way. So I enjoyed every second of it.
Well, and I think it's like what you said, telling a story, right? And even though these missions maybe seem like they were unnecessary, it is actually pretty necessary when you think of who Spider-Man is and how who Peter is very much a part of who Spider-Man is. I think you can't really separate the two because it's always about balancing both responsibilities, which Peter continuously struggles with. Even if it's riding a bike down the street or trying to be a spy at a hunter's party, I'm here for it. I really am.
Balance. That's the theme of this game.
Yeah. Balancing trays at a hunter's party or balancing on a bicycle. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Now, we briefly talked about Kraven,
Mhm.
the fact that he may be dying the last hunt. Do you think we're going to see Kraven die in this game? Like, do you think that's where it's leading us to? That the game will end on that?
Like I said earlier about my theory, I'm hoping they subvert our expectations here and thinking that maybe, again, like we stop Kraven, we stop whatever, and then Kraven dies. I hope he somehow becomes Venom. My theory of who Venom is now is changing, and I think it's going to be Kraven, which I think would be hilarious. Sorry, hilariously good.
Hilarious. I can't even say it. Hilariously good.
I think that would shock
yeah.
a lot of people. And so that's where I'm at this point hoping it heads.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
I was not expecting that theory. And now like I could actually see that more come into play here. So I think that would be really good. But I still kind of want to just see a red herring completely. We are still pretty we're early in the game. We're not even midway yet. In the games. Well, we're almost
I think
we are midway.
Right?
We're midway. Right? But I kind of want to see like just at that last moment something totally unexpected. Because now it is setting it up like Kraven may be Venom.
No, I don't. Again, this could be I don't want us
No,
to like
I don't. No, I
theory.
don't. No, but I think it's a good theory because then it's like, Harry's sick. You have Kraven that's sick. Kraven's also very strong. He's obsessed now over this suit. We're seeing that. It kind of makes sense. I could see him getting closer to the suit, and he's strong. And from what we know from the symbiote, it does latch on to strong people. So I'm kind of with you on the theory, but whether it is true, well, we'll have to continue playing as we continue swinging through Spider-Man 2 right here on AutoSave. So be sure to stay tuned. AutoSave is produced and hosted by Nick Andrade and myself, Camille Salazar-Hadaway. The show is also produced by Dylan Wilson. Gameplay and additional elements provided by Chris Zeiser. Executive producer, Clayton Hansler. You can follow the show at AutoSave Podcast on Twitter and AutoSave Pod on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. You can subscribe to the show wherever you're listening to it right now. And if it happens to be Apple Podcasts, kindly leave us a rating and a review, but only if it's good. AutoSave is a Soda original hosted on the Soda Podcast Network.